The NBA finals are starting in just over 24 hours, and I'm very excited to embark on this journey with the Thunder and the Pacers. It's been 4 days without any basketball. It feels like much more. And yeah, we have Nick here. We're going to talk through this finals and we're going to preview it. We're going to make predictions. But Nick, guess how many finals you and I have seen in our lifetime and paid attention to, really?
Mm, like 15.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
15. This will be number 16. But I always remember the finals, especially since we've been in school for most of these. It's been like, oh, summer just started. The season has gone through so a roller coaster of like awesome moments, and we just are coming off of like the most exciting time, which is the playoffs, and then it's all leading to this final matchup. And you have like free agency looming, and who knows what's going to happen in the summer. But I always love this time of year, and I just want to ask you like, what's got you excited? What are you thinking about this matchup?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you talked about, the finals are always it's always been a really cool time of life. I'm still in school, so my whole lifetime of finals has been following the school year ending. I immediately think back to just the ABC channel. I think back to the songs that they always played. I think back to every year had a different theme. Like one year they had Kendrick. One year they had J. Cole, just like the playoffs in general, it all leads up to this moment. And I remember just vividly like the Warriors Cavs era and just
Yep.
like every year hoping that Braun would do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year specifically, I think it's really different because it's so like it's so new. Like these teams that are in the
Yeah.
finals, these players that are in the finals. You don't have big names. I mean, obviously Shea's a big name, but in terms of like basketball greatness legacies like these guys like Braun, Katie, and Curry, like they're not in this anymore. Like it's gonna be interesting. I'm super excited. I think it's gonna be a really, really good series.
So am I. I'm very interested. Dude, you just mentioned LeBron James. I think he's been in 9 of the 15 finals that we've watched.
Oh yeah, probably.
That's
I think he,
crazy.
he was
Um,
in
and then
all of them
last,
except for sorry, all of them except for 18, 19, and then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So yeah, fuck, the last couple of years.
yeah.
But
Well, last thing I'll say about the championship and the NBA Finals. I remember watching one video of Chris Paul working out and him just like pushing himself and sweating super hard, and then he just like took a break and he was like, "It's all gonna be worth it in June." And ever since then, I'm thinking like, "Oh yeah, June. June is when the finals start."
and then he was like, I'm addicted. And when he went to the finals, he's like, I'm addicted to it. And he hasn't been back.
He made it there once.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I figured we could preview this series by going through some of the factors and breaking it down and seeing which team we thought had the edge in each of these factors. Because it seems just looking at it at a glance that the Thunder are overwhelming favorites. And I think that's fair, but I want to break it down a bit further. So I'm going to start by asking you mentioning what the factor is. You tell me if you think the Thunder or the Pacers have the edge there, and then I'll tell you what my answer was. But let's start with coaching. Who do you think has the edge in coaching?
Mm, I know that Rick Carlisle won a chip, but you also said the other day how you don't really think he's all that. And I guess maybe I took that to heart a little bit. But even with that all in mind, I would say Coach Dagnall is probably the just the head above him. Just I don't know. He just seems so cool and collected and like he's emotionless, but also like fierce and like I think the reason why I say it is just because of the brand of basketball, both on the offensive and defensive side that they play. I just feel like I have to credit it to Mark Dagnall. So I'm gonna take him.
Okay, I'm a complete fraud because I'm taking Carlisle in this. I want the Pacers to have a chance to win this series or at least like make it a competitive series. And I think that's one area you can point to where they might have the advantage. Couple of reasons why. Mark Dagnall, he hasn't coached in the finals before. He did kind of screw up the clock management or the end of game management in one of those games against Denver. It's either game one or two, I forget which one. And then, yeah, Rick Carlisle has been there, and the further we get into these playoffs, I have to just respect the levers that he's pulling. And he knows his team really well. I think he can find some kind of advantages. And then I think about when he last played against when his team last played against a superstar in the finals. When his team was a huge underdog, when those Mavericks played against the Heat the first time the Heat went to the finals. And he was coaching against another young coach at the time with a powerhouse team, and he was able to finesse that and get his team in position for good things to happen. So I'm going to take Carlisle, and I hope that I'm right. But Dagnall definitely is a formidable opponent.
Fair.
Next one is a starting five. So on the Oklahoma City side, you have SGA, you have Williams, Chet Holmgren, and then they might even switch this up, but Isaiah Hartenstein and Lou Dort. And then on the Pacers side, it's Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner. Which way you leaning?
If you had asked me this like 3 months ago, I would have said the Thunder in a heartbeat. But just because of the brand that we've been watching the Pacers play, um, like I was sleeping on Pascal like heavily. Like I was snoozing that alarm clock. Like I was sleeping on him. Um, but dude, I mean, the fact that he won the conference MVPs was kind of mind-boggling to me. I mean, well deserved, I guess. He had some, I mean, he had really good games, a lot of really good games. But I mean, everyone expected Tyrese to get it. Um, but it's a toss-up. I don't know really who I would take. I think if you look at it from 1 to 5, I mean, they're just so different. Like Shea and Halliburton play just totally different brands of basketball at the one. Like
Yeah.
Tyrese is gonna go score, but not like to the extent that Shea will. But he's gonna go get you like 16 assists and like make the whole team better. And I would say Jalen Williams is better than Andrew Nembhard, for sure. I'm not even gonna talk about it. Um, but like Lou Dort is a defensive player. Neesmith is a defensive player, but also can shoot really well. Well, even Lou Dort can shoot. So it's like those guys are pretty. I feel like they're pretty squared up, but Lou Dort is a better defender.
Yeah.
Um, I would take Pascal over Chet or Hartenstein. Um, but like they're so different that it's hard for me to choose one. But if I was putting my life on the line for one of these teams, I would give it to the Thunder. I would.
Yeah, I think that's the way I'm leaning as well. I was considering the Pacers because all five of their starters can shoot. Isaiah Hartenstein is not going to be behind the three-point line putting up shots that you think are going in.
Mhm.
But we also know with both these teams, like the starters aren't going to be like as heavily relied upon as like say the Knicks, for example. So I think the Thunder get the edge there, but it's close.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see. That leads to the next one, which is bench. Yeah,
Mm.
I think we might both be aligned on this one, but who you got?
Thunder.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was just looking at their lineups and they just have they just have like let's see, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can go 10 deep where it's guys that you actually trust. The
Yeah.
Pacers,
I think of TJ McConnell for the Pacers. I can't even really think, and Obi Toppin, but like he's just a slam dunk champ.
he's been shooting well though. But yeah, the Pacers have seven guys who I think you could trust. And like TJ he scares me a little bit with in this matchup because the Thunder bench is like full of defensive guys. TJ is kind of someone who's offensively going to stir things up. I think he's going to get swallowed up. So we both go Thunder on this one. I think that's right. Next category is defense.
Uh, Next question.
Yeah, we can skip that one. That's
Question.
Thunder. No debate.
Thunder. There's no debate at all. He's like a puppet. The answer.
How about this one? Clutchness, clutch gene. Last 5 minutes of the game. Who do you want? You
Yeah,
want the
man.
Thunder with the ball, or you want the Pacers with the ball?
I'm gonna give them the Pacers the ball because they've showed us like 6 times that they can pull off some crazy stuff. And yeah, I mean, there was the game winner against the Cavs in the second round. There was the long I don't
The
want to say
bounce.
the high bounce on the three in game one against the Knicks. Um, I'm taking the Pacers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Pacers there too, and I think this factor might mean a lot because to me it points to these guys just don't give up. Like they don't get mentally rattled. The Thunder are gonna do things that are gonna like would make other teams feel discouraged or like they don't have hope. The Pacers just keep going and they have such high confidence and will just play to the final buzzer. So plus, I mean, you put yourself in positions for good things to happen with when you have Tyrese and the guys just shooting away with confidence towards the end of the game. So you really have to when you're ahead against them, you really have to put them away. So I do give the Pacers the edge there, and I feel like a few of these games will come down to the end, and maybe that'll favor the Pacers.
Yeah, and I feel like the Pacers have been consistently the underdogs in like most of these series, maybe not the first round, but like
Yeah.
the Cavs were supposed to win. I know they were injured, but they were still supposed to win. The Knicks were supposed to win. Like now they're like, bro, they're even bigger underdogs now. They're probably at the point where they're like, bro, we can do nothing wrong. Like if we lose, it's gonna be like, this was an amazing season. This is way better than we thought y'all would do. And if they
Yeah.
win, it's like, shit, like this is dope. You know what I mean? So like they have nothing to lose. Like they do not have to win this finals for it to be a good season. They've already had a great season. So that's scary, I think, for the Thunder.
You are touching on a point that I want to bring up later. I think like let's table this thought. You're echoing exactly what I want to say. Last two things. Who's the
Mhm.
better road team?
Uh,
Like, do you think the Pacers can go into Oklahoma City and still play their game, or is that crowd and that energy just going to get to them?
well, let me just see what my stats say. On the road, the not play. Um, I think I think that I don't know. I honestly I don't think I can answer this question. I think the Pacers won those two games in New York for a reason, but I also think that the Thunder have demolished everyone they've played for a reason. So it's hard for me to like say that one of them is better, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm gonna say that one's a wash. But I will point to the Pacers being able to play in New York and like they love making the opposing team's crowd like on edge and making them scared. Like I think they thrive off of that. So they just and for some reason their guards shoot better on the road, which must just be a mistake. I don't know why. But the better home team, I think for sure is the Thunder as well.
Yeah. I mean, what did how many did they lose at home this year? Like 6 games, something like
Yeah, yeah, and in the playoffs, like one.
that. Yeah. So
Well, because this is an overwhelming like odds for one of these teams, I kind of want to make a case for the Pacers to win. And you tell me if this is nonsense or if there's actually something real here.
okay.
The Pacers, like you just said, they've been the underdogs in each round.
Yeah.
And they're playing with house money at the moment. Like the Thunder are they were favored in every series or like expected to win every series. Maybe the Denver series was going to be a little bit of a challenge for them, but they're meant to win and they're built to win now. The Pacers, like I think they've overachieved if you ask most people, and they are playing with no pressure on them at all. So that's one thing. Two is the NBA really they prioritize or they want volume of games. They want series to go long. I think they're going to give the Pacers a more favorable whistle, in the beginning of this series because it could easily be a 5 game series, 4 game series. Like that's just money that the NBA is leaving on the table. Um, so I think they're going to get a favorable whistle. Coach Carlisle could actually pull a rabbit out of his hat and coach well and leave the Thunder with some things to think about. And then the Pacers, if they just hit their threes, like there's times when the Thunder don't make a lot of their threes or they don't take that many, but the Pacers can get really hot really fast and go on those runs where it's like a 9-0 run, 8-0 run, and all of a sudden you're behind. I think that could work. And then also that clutch time play that we talked about. So I think if they win one of these 2 games in Oklahoma City, that we're going to have more than a 5 game series. And I would say as a last thing, the Pacers with their pace, like even on makes they're running, they just can't let the Oklahoma City defense get set and like their matchups um, get set. I think if they do that and they play with a bit more chaos, they're not going to let the Thunder's defense really like hound them and stop them. So I think keeping that pace up, which is what they like to do, they're going to be able to. They could crack some of this armor and get their foot in the door and make this a longer series. Do you have anything to add? Is any of that
Yeah.
crazy?
No, I don't think that's crazy. Because I also want the Pacers to win.
Yeah.
Um, I am kind of on like it's funny that you brought up the Heat earlier
Mm.
because I think that it's a very similar situation right now. I feel like the Heat in the Mavericks series was like LeBron's first time to the finals, and the pressure of the lights were really big, and he did jack, and the Mavs won. And I can see something like that maybe happening. The Thunder have been on the brink for a while and haven't made the finals yet. Just kind of how LeBron was like right there. Was always like one of the best young players in the league when he was in Cleveland, and then he went to Miami, and that was when the brink was met and he made it to the finals. But then that like the step from the semifinals to the actual NBA finals, I'm sure is really big. I mean, I only played in them a couple times, but I feel like what could happen is that the Thunder are at the same spot that the Heat were at in 2011, the same spot that the Celtics were at in 2022. I think the Thunder will win a championship in the next 3 years for sure, but I could definitely see this year being the year where they get like a reality check of like, yo, you got to do a little bit more. Don't get too comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, and I could see the Pacers winning this year and then seeing the Thunder winning the next few years for like a while, honestly,
Yeah.
just because they've just been built so well, like from the front office down, like they just have such a good thing going. I don't know if I really see the Pacers being like legit. Like I feel like the Pacers are kind of like the Raptors in this way, like 2019 Raptors, where it's like, oh shit, they made it. Oh god, let's go. And
Yeah.
they'll be they won one. I don't like if the Pacers don't win this year, I don't think we'll see them in the finals again. Um, versus like the Thunder are definitely going to be around for a while. So
Mhm.
I that's why I also it's like I just think that I totally agree with you. And I just think the Pacers could totally go crazy and win a chip. And then at the same time, I could totally see the Thunder sweeping it. And this would all
Dude,
be a funny podcast, but
yeah.
I want the Pacers to win. I think they could win in seven. It would have to be in seven though.
Yeah, I want them to win too. Nick, you were a young kid when this happened, but LeBron James did reach the finals in Cleveland, but he got his ass swept by
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Spurs.
yeah.
So, but I think what you're saying is correct. Like the Thunder could be tight. Like they've made it here. They're 1 win away from being champions, and I mean, that's what their whole season has been gearing up for. That's a lot
Hmm.
of pressure, and like these guys are young. I mean, we saw Chet. I mean, he's a great free throw shooter. He missed 2 free throws in the one of the Nuggets games
Yeah, game.
to put them up, and like so that was just evidence to me. Like these guys, they care a lot, and that pressure mounts. They're gonna be. I mean, there's a whole state. I mean, the Pacers have this as well, but they have a lot of people like counting on them. But yeah,
Yeah.
they could be tight. Um, Nick, you want to guess? when the last sweep was in the finals?
I know. It was against the Cavs.
I
And K
forgot that they swept, dude.
it was the first year that KD was there.
Yeah.
They went 16-0.
It was the second year actually, dude. Right? Because 2017. 27, like the Cavs won in 2016. The next year, Steph or KD joins them, and
And
in
they won that year.
2017 they win 4-1, and then the next year they win 4-0.
Oh, it was 2018 or 2018 they won 4-0?
Yeah.
Oh, right, because that was the year where the Cavs, the Lakers, the Cavs should have had game one, the 2018,
Oh my God, the JR.
the JR.
Yeah.
Bro, that was actually, oh God, it like makes me sick.
That was one of the best LeBron James games
Oh my
ever.
God. Dude, he was, I remember he had one and one where he like went up with his right, got knocked down, fell, left by him. It was like, bro, you are my goat.
Yeah, he
Just
is.
so good. Damn, so that was the last time though.
This is gonna be, yeah, it might happen again this time, but I was just looking at the last finals, the last like 15 years, and there's just a lot more 4-1 and 4-2 finals than I thought. So
Mm.
it feels like, when there's a team that's better, like they usually take care of business. There's only been three 7-game series in the last 15, 16 years even. So
Really? Finals?
yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Bro, we've only had one game seven this playoffs.
No, Nuggets had two.
Okay, true. Two.
Yeah,
Still.
you're right. We've
Well,
only had two. Hopefully, we get it again in the finals. Dude, the first time that you and I watched the finals was Boston and Lakers, Boston and LA, and it was Game 7 in LA. Do you remember any of that?
where were we?
We were here,
Oof.
but it was 2010.
I don't really
You were a
remember
young
that. I think I was in my soccer era at that point.
you were a young buck. Yeah. Well, regardless. All right, back to this series. I want to hear your official prediction. And if you have any other comments, thoughts, questions, notes that you want to get off your chest before we officially start tomorrow.
You know what, Stephen A? I'm taking the Pacers in seven.
Is
Pacers
that
in seven.
it? Okay.
I'm gonna take the Indiana Pacers in 7 games, and they're gonna win game seven in OKC by 3 points. They're gonna go up, they're gonna be down two, and they're gonna hit a three, and then they're gonna go up one, and then they're gonna go up two more and win by three.
Dude,
But
I'm gonna second that because I want this to happen so bad. I want an epic series. I think Pacers in 7 is the only way they could win, and I'm taking it. They're gonna take one of these first two games in OKC. They're gonna show their mental fortitude and really just punch these guys in the mouth and see if they have anything for it. But they just got to get one. They just got to get one. Yeah, exactly.
it's gonna be cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
Should be some good games.
Agreed. All right then. Thanks for your time today, Nick. And maybe we'll check in throughout the finals. But otherwise, Nick has Pacers in 7. I have Pacers in 7. Wishful thinking, perhaps, but we'll see what happens. All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Subscribe, like, leave a comment.